With Sony, they let us pretty much do what we want creatively as Cypress Hill. They just didn't want us to stray too far away from it. With Duck Down, it's definitely more of a there's definitely more freedom because it is an indie. They understand what hip hop is from the ground up. I mean, not to say that Sony didn't, but they were looking at a different scenario, different picture. I mean, we all want to sell records, but they constantly try to push you to have like a commercial hit and whatnot. Fortunately, they didn't try so much of that with us. They might have suggested here and there, but with Duck Down, I pretty much came with the complete album, and they dug what they heard. But before I actually went into mastering is when I started making little changes, like with the features and stuff like that, because I didn't have all the features when I had turned in the album. I maybe had one, which was Snoop Dogg, and or actually two, Damian Marley and Snoop Dogg. I had those before everything, and then towards the end, right before mastering, that's when I got Corrupt and Too Short, and then eventually Exhibit, and those came totally by chance, because I didn't really intend to ask a lot of people to get on the record, but they wanted to come on and support, and there ain't too many records out there with a bunch of West Coast artists collaborating together, and we all talk about that on the West Coast a lot. Like, we need to do like the East Coast cats do and get on these records together and show unity, and just nobody's willing to take those steps, and fortunately they fell in my hands, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Having Exhibit, having Snoop Dogg and Too Short, two West Coast legends. Exhibit is considered a West Coast heavyweight as well. I had to do it. Even though it wasn't my plan, I had to do it. So it was cool, and it all sort of just came together. And that's how a good album, I think, ends up. Is that it just sort of happens. It comes together. Everything comes at the right time. If you force it and you try to do all these things, just to appease your label, or to appease maybe your thoughts, like, oh, I need a hit single, so you try and force that shit, people can feel that vibe, they can sense it, and sometimes they go away from it because it's like too forced, whereas we just sort of let everything happen. I think when people hear the record, they'll feel that vibe, that it's just a natural thing.